and welcome to yet another amazing and informative episode of the Great Debaters Contest. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. The motion on the table today is land subdivision is the leading cause of unsustainable food production.
Proposing this motion, we have Kianyaga High School.
And opposing the motion, we have Leshau Boys High School.
Proposer number one, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
Open your eyes and look at the bigger picture. Realize the cause of all this hunger, all this torture. You want to be updated? Give me your ears. Let us end all these tears once and for all. Mwangi Michael is my name from Kianyaga High School, and I'm in strong agreement with the motion that says land subdivision is actually the leading cause of unsustainable food production. Now, according to the Oxford Dictionary 8th edition, land is an area of ground used for a specific purpose. Subdivision is the partitioning of a piece of something into smaller portions. This goes on to tell you that land subdivision is the partitioning of a piece of land into smaller portions. Now, unsustainable food production is a situation where the rate of food production is no longer reliable to a particular population. Now, these subdivisions that we talk of, how much of this subdivision, and I want you to walk with me, please, here. How much of these subdivisions are set aside for agricultural produce? Fact file. 70% of the land subdivisions are set aside for settlements. The rest for agriculture, among others. What do I mean by agriculture, among others? A man may decide to use a piece of land to start a business, construct a warehouse, and then maybe think of starting cultivation. And if at all he decides to do so. Payman Falsafi, an agricultural researcher, says that Africa are overemphasizing cash crops at the expense of food crops. This is true. How much of our coffee do we produce and export, and how much of it do we consume? And if we do consume any, we consume that which is of low, both in quantity and quality. Evolving World Book 1 tells us very clearly, Africa eats what she does not grow, and grows what she does not eat. Now, all these A's, B's, and C's all come down to one point: land subdivision. Land subdivision automatically calls for individual effort to cultivate the land, till it, and make it productive. Now, for instance, let's take a case in our country, Kenya. Individual purchase of fertilizers, farm inputs to be specific, has become a problem. Take, for instance, the case in May 2013. According to Daily Nation dated May 5th, 2013, the Great Rift Valley farmers of maize were complaining. Why? Because out of the 665,000 hectares of land subdivision, only 100,000 was cultivated. In that very year, 4 million, there was a decrease in maize production by 4 million bags. That is a clear indicator and a food for thought for you, my fellow opposers. So that's a food for thought for you, if at all that food is enough. Thank you.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to make your case.
What is land subdivision? This is the act of dividing land into smaller parts to create more proportions. Secondly, what is unsustainability? That is which cannot be continued at the same level, or which cannot be tolerated. Food production. This is the process of growing or making food, especially in large quantities. For instance, let's take that a family of 10 members have a land of about 10 acres. This land is to be divided amongst each of the family members proportionally. That means each is going to get 1 acre. And as the proceeding continues, more generations are upcoming. More children are being born. And the 1 acre of land is being divided among these children. But the question is this really going to affect the rate of production of food? But with the accurate reasoning, let's dig deep into it. Let's just try to compare our country, Kenya, with a country like Egypt. In Kenya, we have everything that is needed for us to improve agricultural production. I tend to think that in Kenya we have the best climatic conditions that are worth for agricultural production. I tend to think that in Kenya we have the best soils, of which we can even import to some countries. Still in the same country, we have the best workers, if I may reason. But when you look at a country like Egypt, that's a country that is located in a desert place. In a desert place where you cannot get water. In a desert place where to get such good climatic conditions favorable for planting or for farming activities, it's very hard. What makes the economy of such a country like Egypt to be very high, to be more ahead of us in Kenya? When will we be able to take up our responsibilities as Kenyans and stop saying that it is the land subdivision? Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
When I look through my lenses, I see complete sense. Subdivision. Yes, it is the leading cause of unsustainable food production. My name is Samuel Munene Mugo from Kianyaga High School, proposing the motion that states land subdivision is the leading cause of unsustainable food production. According to a report released on 7 September 2016, it states that 60% of cases pending in High Court of Nairobi are due to land cases which are brought by land subdivision. Take a look at this. Nairobi has an area square kilometers of 696. Yet there are 60% cases because of land. These cases are taken to count. And the judiciary, under the Article 159, Section 2C of the Constitution, it states that when a court order of land is taken to the court, that land is supposed to be left untouched or uncultivated until the final verdict is reached. And how long do you think these cases last? Not days, not weeks, not months, but years. Last week, the final verdict of a case that was in the High Court of Nairobi, from 2008 until now, how many years are those? Those years could have been used to plant food, which would have brought sustainable food production. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue walking in the park as I show you that land subdivision is the cause of unsustainable food production. The world population is clocking at 7.62 million. FSI, Food Sustainability Index research, said that by 2025, the population will be clocking at 8.1 billion. And do you know the square kilometers of the whole world? 5.1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we are increasing. The more we are increasing, the more the rate of subdivision. Let me tell you, subdivision has led to people eating. We need to fill this plate. Subdivision has made people sleep without filling this plate. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for your examination.
I'm Emmanuel Mwangi, Leshau Boys High School, opposing the motion that says land subdivision is the leading cause of unsustainable food production. First of all, it is not land subdivision which has led to unsustainable food production. It is the people themselves who are lazy, since even the communities living near water bodies do not take that opportunity to utilize that water or even to reclaim the land. But if we embrace the sources within our reach, we could improve food security. Second, in this era, farming is mechanized. Farming is mechanized and highly depend on technology. And the size of land does not matter, but the skills in which the person has. The knowledge in which the person and the skills in which the person has and which he or she has gained is the one that counts. If people could first be educated on farming practices or agricultural activities, we could not be facing this shortage, or we could not be having food insecurity. Government policies hinder individuals from practicing farming. For instance, we can take the landlord setup. The landlord setup is for temporal houses since they lack title deeds, and also the government demands a lot of tax, which has discouraged the youth who could have given a promising future in the agricultural area to venture into other businesses. There is poor governance. This cause wars, overpopulation, and periodic drought. Take, for example, Zimbabwe in 1980, when it gained independence, it was known as the bread basket of Africa. Now, after that 7 years, 37 years of one-party government, most of the productive commercial farms have been grabbed. This has led to fall of agricultural production. Now it depends on food imports and aids to avoid starvation, which may cause interconflicts in countries like Somalia, South Sudan, and DRC. And as I conclude, I'm going to leave you with a quote that says, when a cat chases a mouse, the mouse runs for its life, but the cat runs for food. Remember, purpose comes before need. Thank you.
For the question session, the proposers have been asked, do they mean to say that all the cases about land disputes that are pending at the High Court are only about pieces of land in Nairobi? And the opposers have been asked, what is the everything that we have that they refer to for food production? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
I would first of all like to take this chance to thank the audience for the good question they have posted. It's so you have asked a question if the land cases that are taken to the Nairobi Law Courts are mostly come from Nairobi. Let me ask you a question. Is it possible to take a case from Nyeri County and take it to the Nairobi Law Courts to handle it? No. You'll first of all go to the Nyeri Law Courts in order for the solving and finding of the solution. Not forgetting my name, I'm Victor Njau from the Kianyaga High School, strongly proposing the motion that states, land subdivision is the leading cause of unsustainable food production.
On to my first point. Land subdivision discourages farming. What do I mean when I say that land subdivision discourages farming? It has led to land being too small for significant production. According to the research done by the Catholic Jesuit Hekimani Center, based in Nairobi, they posted a report on the Standard Digital on the 23rd of September 2014, stating that land subdivision has led to land becoming significantly too small to meet the food demand in our country. Dr. Makau, the leader of this institution, further stated that the process of land subdivision must be reversed in order to meet the food demand in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a short history of the Mexican government. Mexico has been one of the major leading countries in food production. But we find in 1930, the peasant farmers went to their government and protested that land should be equally subdivided to them. In 1932, the government took an initiative and subdivided the land equally among the farmers. But in 1938, there was a corresponding decrease of food production with a 38%. 38%, I emphasize. This shows that land subdivision has greatly discouraged food production. On to my second point. Land subdivision has discouraged the use of certain machinery. When we subdivide land, we enclose it for security purposes. That we all know. But this, in return, discourages the use of certain machineries, such as the plows, because they are unable to access land. USA, one of the leading countries in corn, in the importation of corn, rather, has been found to be using such great machinery such as the plows and the combined harvesters in their farming. This has increased their food production such that they are able to export 51% of the corn they produce in their country. This is not a motion to debate because land is significantly land subdivision is significantly the leading cause of unsustainable food production. I rest my case.
Proposer, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
I am John Allen Mwangi from Leshau boys. To answer the question, first of all, I would like to say Kenya has many things that allow us to farm. Climatic conditions, fertile soils, their updated technology. Let us see the things that are there for us, not to be foresighted, such as my colleagues are. The reason being, we do not have sufficient food for every single person in Kenya. It's because we major on the minors and minor on the majors. And this is how I would like to present the thinking criteria as I have seen of my colleagues. The first opposer, students started complaining about coffee. When have you ever drank coffee and felt satisfied, saying that you've consumed something that will make you dust your hunger? But no, we have to debate about it every single day, day in, day out, about something that we know is undebatable. For example, we talk about the armyworm. It has been a menace to all the maize plantations in Kenya. First of all, land subdivision will help decrease pests and will help control pests and other diseases. But no, we have to debate it day in, day out, since my colleagues fail yet again to understand that land is divided for us all to gain more privileges. I would like to simply just say this, but forgive me if it comes out wrongly. The behavior of my colleagues is that of a dog chasing its own tail. We end up nowhere, with no results, nothing to come out saying that we can say it. We can debate day in, day out, but still stand on the same ground, noting that land subdivision helps. It does not matter how large the land is, but it matters how you use it. Technology is advanced in Kenya. We have had many farmers who have had small tracts of land, but have been able to manifest and make more and more. Not debating about it. It is, I do wish to beg you not to debate it furthermore and embarrass yourself before this overwhelming crowd, but just join us and help us educate more people on this topic. Thank you.
Proposition, you have 1 minute to wrap up your case.
A singer once said, look at that hungry child. Do you see anything to smile about? I tell you, look at Turkana. Do you see anything to smile about? Children dying of hunger, marasmus, kwashiorkor, and yet this plate is empty, even by the sound. Oh my God, do you realize this? Do you realize this? I fail to understand how we don't see this. That even after all is said and done, land subdivision remains to be a major threat to food production, to human existence. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in filling this plate. Join me in feeding a hungry child. Join me in saving a child from marasmus and kwashiorkor. Organizing secretary, please add seats on this side of proposition so that my fellow opposers can join us in proposing this motion and say that land subdivision is actually the leading cause of unsustainable food production, and it should be done away with immediate effect. Michael Mwangi, Kianyaga High School, thank you for your attention.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final statement.
And you still have the audacity to come back again and lie. But quite a good morale. Quite a good morale. You can lie over and over again before this crowd and still expect us to understand you. But no. Lies are only fed to children under the age of 5. I'm 18. You can't lie to me. I'm old enough. Finally, I just warn you, my friend, the roaring flames of hell are waiting for you if you keep on lying. This age, the lights. If you were lying in the dark, it would have been something. But you are lying in plain sight. Why? Once again, I'm John Allen Mwangi, Leshau boys.
Kianyaga High School. Well, I think the motion in a way could have been very much favorable to your end, and I want to appreciate what you have done. Let me go straight on to Samuel. Samuel, you know, your role is cross-examination. So my question was, any that you found that you could cross-examine? Because you need to do that. Nonetheless, I want to encourage and note that you're a good speaker and very passionate as well. Victor, fair answer, good research. I think you gave very good examples as well, discouraging farming and the use of farm machinery. You had very good submissions. So I think what you need to add on yourself is now that packaging and passion of delivery. And I think the two of you now can learn a lot from Michael. Michael, I think I commend you. You are outstanding and you're a very good debater. So keep that up, all right?
All right, without repeating what has been said, I believe the two teams have done their best. To the Kianyaga team, I liked your demeanor on stage, that you're able to really stand up and convince us to agree with whatever you are saying. However, Samuel, I thought that you made your conclusion too fast. When the bell went, I think you just disappeared. I think you should, next time, do a better conclusion than that. The Leshau team, you had very, very strong points, and I want to believe you had done very good research. Whatever points you have presented had a lot of weight in them. To Bernard, I especially liked your definition that you gave at the beginning. What you probably need to work on a little bit is your appearance on stage. You want to be involved in the debate that you are giving us. If you can work on your delivery, you can become a very, very good speaker. All the best to the two teams.
For Kianyaga High School, the judges awarded you 70%. Let's appreciate them. Leshau Boys High School, you managed to garner 67%. Congratulations to both schools. We appreciate the work put into the debates today.
To our debaters, know that victory comes out in bowing out gracefully. Remember, you can be part of the Great Debaters Contest by continuing the conversation on our hashtag GDC for SDGs. And remember, you can also implement at least one sustainable development goals such that you can impact not only your schools, but also your communities better.
We would like to appreciate our sponsors, Blaze by Safaricom and Brand Kenya Board, for facilitating this. That's it at the Great Debaters Contest today. I have been your host, Esperanza Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. Until next time, stay tuned.